Hey, you want to help me put this combine back together? Huh? Or do you want to go in? I figured. Yeah, good morning, guys. Well, the circumstances changes and times change, and I got other stuff's got to be. I got a lot to do, and I'm falling behind. I got to get the transmission in that combine like right now, because now I suddenly have a cousin that has a broken tractor. He'd like me to fix that right away, quick for him yesterday. So let's kick this into high gear. Careful here. I don't want to grab the top of that barn. This might not end well for the rest of the toys in there. Guys, before we get too much farther into this transmission project, so looking forward to that, I wanted to take a minute to thank today's video sponsor, Temu. Now, up until recently, I've never heard of Temu. And honestly, guys, I've been missing out. I had no idea that there was a place that had, and I mean everything. Everything you can think of, you can buy on Temu. What's a couple things that make Temu great? Well, obviously the obvious. A, you can get anything from there. I got this little handheld arc welder. Now, you know, in my new barn here, I don't have 220 in here yet. So for me to get a great arc welder in here yet is, you know, it's just not going to be a possibility for the time being. And I've always wanted to try one of these little handheld arc welders. I thought this would be kind of cool. I had them send me some screwdrivers and this little tiny ratchet. You know, when you get into these little binds, guys, where you're trying to get a screw or a bolt out and it's in a tight space and it's just too much where you can't quite turn it with your fingers, these little tiny ratchets, they sure come in handy. But again, what I'm most excited about is this little welder here. So a couple quick points, guys. Anything you buy that ships from Temu is all free shipping, and that's a great thing. Sometimes great deals are ruined by the extreme cost of shipping. Shipping sometimes more than you wanted to pay for the part altogether. So that's a bonus. You got free returns up to 90 days. That's a beautiful thing. Delivery is guaranteed. And also, if you buy a product, find it on their website a few days later, up to 90 days later, for less money, you can request a partial refund. Temu will give you that. Well, guys, I'm excited. Let's try this little welder out, because I've been, like I say, been in need. Guys, what's the object of any welder? Glue two pieces of metal together. Let's give this a go. Let's see, I'll set her kind of like, well, that will indeed glue two pieces of metal together. So hey, that's not bad. Just out of curiosity. Okay, I'm impressed with the $100 arc welder. So guys, you can get yourself one of these little welders, little ratchet set here, screwdrivers. So guys, if you use my description code right here, you can get a $100 bundle coupon. If you want to download the app, I'll put it down in the description below. That'll also get you another $100 bundle coupon for free. Like I said, guys, the price on this stuff is outstanding. I mean, I could fill my whole toolbox for like 250 bucks, probably with leftover tools. So guys, I really feel like I've been missing out this whole time. That temu app has been out there and I haven't been using it. Well, I'm going to be using it a lot more now. So like I said, guys, use my discount code, download the app. There's all kinds of savings to be had there. Give them a shot. Thanks again, Temu, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to this. All right, friends, now for my next trick, all I got to do, I got that where I feel it's probably, I could tilt her this way a little bit maybe, but whatever. I got to scoot her on under there, pick it up most of the way, put the axle shafts back on, grab my clutch slave cylinder, bolt that back on, put her up the rest of the way, get the 4 bolts lined up, get them started, and that's going to be the worst part of this whole job besides getting the clutch back on. I imagine that's going to be less than fun too. But once I get her bolted in, she's all uphill from there. Oh Lord, here we go. All right, friends, so you missed all this fun because I didn't turn the camera on. Whoops, that happens. But I got the 2 axle shafts slid on. I got the clutch slave cylinder bolted on the back. I've only got to go this far, and maybe I can get some main bolts set in here. Yes. Yes. A little more. Look at you. Oh my. Let's, oh, don't mind my head. I just got to get in here. There's one. Everything's got room. This is gonna work. Where's the rest of my bolts? Okay, here we go. Let's get number 2. And number 3. Guys, I wanted to show you this since we're in here. Where is it? Look at that, right from the factory. Okay to paint. Okay, well, hey, it even fell off. I'm gonna save that for myself. Yes, excellent. And the last one. Of course. I'll just persuade that with a little hammer. How about that, guys? The hardest part of the job is, well, almost done. Okay, so let me put some nuts on those and get them good and tight. Get my cables on. I ain't gonna keep you under here for that. And then I'm gonna attempt to slam the clutch back on this. That should offer some exciting entertainment, but let me finish what I'm doing here. Well, guys, I went ahead and I'm telling you, I would have videoed this, but I got it done so fast there was no point to it. So, axle shafts in, other axle shafts in, Cables are hooked up. I went up in the cabin and shit, she feels like it shifts pretty good. I guess we'll find out if it actually moves forward, backward, stops, and in the positions that I put it in. That's the main part of that. But now's the fun part. Now I got to muscle that heavy son of a gun back into that little spot there. Now, I know that a couple of you made mention that maybe if I got rid of this guy, it might make the job a little bit easier. Hey, you're probably not wrong. Getting rid of the tire would make putting the clutch on a little bit easier. But getting the tire off, I don't know when the last time this tire was off this combine, but I do know this. You see this tire here? You see how it doesn't match the other one? It ain't a nice rice and cane. It's just a blah, blah, whatever. Well, right before I bought this combine, that tire went flat. It used to have a rice and cane on this side, and it went flat. I mean, blew her out in the field. Guess what? Lug nuts wouldn't come off, and he had to change this right in the field because he couldn't get it off the track, or couldn't get it off the combine to take it in. And I agreed with that because I tried to help him. I broke a 3/4 inch extension off inside of those. So without a little torch and a heat and whatever else, that wasn't going to happen. I feel like that could become an all-day job trying to get that tire off of this side, so not going to happen. I'm going to try, however. I got a couple of plans up my sleeve here. So I think first of all, I'm going to grab my transmission jack. I'm going to sneak that back on it just the same way I'd had it before. Roll it back up under here. Jack it up, kind of just tip it in there. And once I get it there, maybe I can use my strength and get it on that snout. I mean, that's what I'm going to do, so it's going to work. Okay, let's see. I'll tell you what, guys, I bought this little transmission jack at Harbor Freight about 3 years ago when I split the 1100 because I had to have an extra, you got to split the transmission off the back and the front off the transmission. So I bought this transmission jack from Harbor Freight for like $380. Then, this is the 2,000 pound. I tell you what, guys, this thing is, you don't realize how handy one of these is until you need one of these. I tell you what. Okay, enough jibber jabber. Let's get at her. Geez, you'd think I was gonna go spraying with all this chemicals here. Okay. Okay. So there's that part of the battle. Okay, now for the easy part. Now, since my thumb still hurts from last week, although it's getting better, I can do the smart thing here and flip on some welding gloves or heavy duty, whatever these are, just to try to keep my fingers in the positions that they're already in. All right, now let's, up you go. A little higher. Not that high. Ouch. Okay, well, that actually didn't work too bad. Look where, that thing practically put itself in. Now I just got to jibble jabble on it a little bit and see if I can squirm that up in there where I want it. Fall. This has got to go all the way around. Yep. Okay. Now, All right, guys, I'm gonna try something so crazy, it just might work. Okay, so you see I've got a clutch assembly here. It's got a snout around it. I got this deal where this belt holds on. I think what I'm gonna try to do, hang a ratchet strap from there, wrap the other end around that, see if I can just pick up on this thing a little bit so I can move it around and get it where I want it and just kind of, I think I might be onto something. Time will tell. Guys, that couldn't have worked more better. I'm going to flip you around here because you need more to look at than just my ass. Let's see if I can make this final fit. Oh, yeah, I think I could be there. Okay. I only screwed up one thing. I shouldn't have hung it from here. I should have hung it from here so I'd have room to go all the way in. Now I got to find something to push it. Well, I lower that ratchet strap down and it's going to slide right into place. Okay, don't move. There. Okay. Just about there. I'm going to get this piece in, that little bar that goes right there. I got to raise it up just enough to get over the pilot bearing, and that's a done deal. Okay, there's that. So that's not going to move too far. Now, like I say, I just got to move it back in that little, the tiniest of a bit, and it's there. It's done. Gotcha. Gotcha now. Okay. Let's get you out of here. Let's get you out of here. Okay, well, I guess I'll put some bolts in, guys, and put a belt on. Let's try this. Let me get the rest of the bolts in here, guys. Let's see what happens. Right. All right, friends, let's get this drive belt back on here and give her a run. Yeah, there you go. Okay, tighten that. awfully good. Yeah, a couple things I'm not sure of. One, is the clutch going to work? And as I just changed the slave cylinder from one to the other, I would think it should, but it doesn't mean that it will. That ain't good. Might not. I might have to adjust that a little bit. Well, guys, I spent a little time under there. The little yoke that hooks onto the clutch, for whatever reason, this one was twisted all the way in. I twisted it out about the same distance as the one on the other transmission was. Hey, I got clutch pedal. I mean, now I've... Yep, that's better. That's what I need that to do. So, I guess, friends, let's see if this works. Now, one thing I noticed right off the bat, this transmission is so much tighter than the one that was in here. It is unbelievable, but never mind that. Now, this old John Deere is a good starter. All right, well, here's the moment of truth. Let's... Wait. Oh, here we go. All right, moving forward first. That's good. Here's the big question. Do I have second? Oh my God. That made my whole day. Let's try fourth. Do I have fourth? Oh yeah. Man, friends, for the last 8 years I've been running this thing. You know, I'd have to pull it down into second. Really, it took me 5 minutes to get this thing into second, so I didn't back it up very much in the field because I didn't want to have to try and get it in second. Sometimes it wouldn't go. I was first gear as fast as I could to try to combine, and that sucked. Let me tell you what. I got second gear every time. Let's try it again. Just... I tell you what, friends, this combine is just getting better and better every day. Now, I hope something really huge doesn't go wrong, but hey, things happen. Let's go. I am just tickled to death that works as well as it does. All right, let's get... I'm too old to be jumping off this thing. That's better. Okay, guys, so I'll be darned. I've got to tell you what, that wasn't that bad. Now, if you guys ever have a friend or yourselves or whoever needs to change a clutch on one of these or whatever, direct them to this video because, I mean, that wasn't that bad. But again, like I said, guys, getting this transmission back in here, all together said and done, I'm just about 2 hours into this. So 3 hours to get it out, 2 hours to get it back in. That's not terrible. Now, there's a few other things I got to do to this, but like I said, I got to wait for, I got other projects I'm going to have to work on in the near, like, tomorrow future here. So this has to go outside. I know you guys have mentioned paint, and hell, I would love to get a coat of paint on this, even if it's just junk tractor supply paint. I mean, just to rough up the sheet metal, give it a squirt. Same thing on the other side. Just rough up this sheet metal over here. Not worry so much about in here, but, you know, get the tailings and that and all the sheet metal. Make it look like I did the auger. I mean, honestly, a tape off the decals, a good half hour with a Scotch-Brite bed, and an hour and a half with a spray gun. And this thing looked like brand new. That's on my list of to-dos. I really want to do that. The other thing that I absolutely have to do, you see this pulley right here? See how it's kind of not exactly parallel with, I got to dig into that. That's now making itself worse. I got to replace all that shit. I can't just grind it flat and put it back. It ain't going to work. The hole in there is too wobbled out. It just ain't going to work. So I've got to come up with a pulley for that. On the positive side, I don't necessarily have to have that in my nice shop here because I'm not laying underneath it to do that job. I can just put that in the other garage and fight the spiders and the raccoons and get up in there and just pull that out. Find some new parts, put it back together. Otherwise, underneath this thing is ready to go. I have purchased a 216 header for this, so I'll have two now. I got a 215 that I'll just designate for the 4420, and the 216 that I'll just kind of leave on this all the time. This is gonna be nothing but a absolute soybean combine. Maybe wheat if I get into an absolute pinch where things are going wrong and I need a combine. This thing soars through wheat, but it's got no air conditioning and it's a hot ride in there. And I mean, like in 10 minutes, it's a hot ride in there. Other than that, I think she's dang near ready for another several hundred acres of soybeans. But like I say, I got to get that pulley changed. My transmission's good now. Again, I'm not going to worry about my brakes. Guys, we live on the flattest spot in Michigan here. And I don't road this thing. Okay, I take that back. I do road it 1/8 of a mile to get into that field. And I can get to the rest of the 3 fields through them. I don't really have to road this thing. And even if I did, and if I get an emergency, down, brakes, whatever. Hasn't never had brakes. Why would I fix them now? Haven't needed them yet. So guys, that was a really successful job. And I got to say, a couple things that made that very, very possible and make it look really easy. The transmission jack and the concrete floor. If it hadn't been for either of those two things, that'd have been, it wouldn't have gone well. Let's just say that. So guys, on that note, I'm going to leave you here today. I'm going to go put that thing away. Anyways, thanks for watching, everybody. We'll see you next time. All right. Gotta go.
I finally invent something that works!